Hey guys, how's it going? Okay, so I've had a few people say, that they want to kind of cure themselves of their kink fetishes and stuff like that. They're very much in the whole, oh, I don't want to do this, it's taking over my life. Yes, okay, it's become an addiction now. You probably need to wind back or find some way to manage it. That's the thing though, the kink comes on very many different levels. Sometimes it's just every so often. Other times, it can take over people's whole lives. Some people think about the whole 24/7 thing and think, oh, okay, well, has it taken over your life? Well, no, because I still function. I still appreciate and have contact with people outside of, what I do. And I don't want to get people sort of, I don't intrude on other people's headspaces and all that. But there's some people that, for some reason, whether it's their upbringing or whatnot, drugs, they can get really into the whole kink thing, and it takes over their world, and they may or may not know it. So some of them ask, is there a way to cure me from my fetish? So I have this thing, like whether it's a foot thing or a rubber thing or some other thing. They're like, oh my god, can I be cured? I'm like, well, yeah, no. It depends on how involved it is, really. For some people, that's just the way they are, and no matter what, they'll keep coming back to it again and again. And that'll be different from having an addiction, which is kink. Because some people, their kink is their addiction, and they just need to substitute it with something else. I mean, there's plenty of people I know who have had drug problems, and they're not on the drugs now, but the thing is that they've substituted a lot of what they're on the drugs for something else, just as extreme. And they don't realise it, and they think that they're doing good, but they're really affecting a lot of other people, and they just don't care. So, do you think you can be cured from your kink? Depends, as I said. Some people, yeah, others, no. For me, it's just become a part of my life, part that I manage, part that, helps me, As far as curing, if it goes that far where you can't live without it and you function, you need it, then you're creating unnecessary stress on yourself, which will actually make it worse. The having to have the need for it, the whole indulge, so that it's not a compulsion. Occasionally set aside time saying, okay, well, I need this, so I'm going to take time to do this. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means you have a thing. There's plenty of people that have things, like whether it's, I've got to, get my hair done every week, or I've got to have at least a bar of chocolate every week or something. There's always something someone has that they kind of feel like they need to do. They just don't quite feel the same without it. They can kind of do without it for a little bit, but they do eventually need to do or have that thing eventually. The trick is to manage it. For some, look up like addictive behaviors and all that sort of stuff. Contemplate on a need versus a want. And I've talked about this before, where there's many, many people who have a want that they turn into a need, or they think it's a need and they act as if it's a need and it's really a want. So the difference is that if it was a need, you would seek to have that in your life and incorporate it in your life every day. If it's just a want, you can do without it. It doesn't have to be necessarily incorporated every day like I've done with my latex. Wearing it every day. I mean, look, styling, it's just a normal skirt, dress thing, but have it every day. wear it, touch it, feel it, smell it. I don't taste it. I don't taste it. But I like wearing it. And for me, it's become a need that I love. Granted, sometimes there are days where I'm like, oh, it's so cold. I don't want to put it on, it's so cold. But then, I shove it in my blankies after I've just hopped out of bed, and that warms it up a little bit. So there are ways around it, and I've figured out a way around it because I feel that strongly about it and I want it that much in my life. Not to the exclusion of all others at the moment. I'm going to keep it practical because that's life. And for me to actually have that in my life long term in a healthy relationship, there has to be some give and take. It looks like there's going to be some chainsawing going on here, so I'm going to divert a little bit. So, is there a kink or a thing that you have that you just need to have in your life? Whether it's chocolate, whether it's, having to draw, whether it's music, time by yourself, getting spanked, getting your medicinal caning, sensory deprivation, cuddles. I like rubber cuddles, but rubber cuddles, think about that. Think of it as a need. I mean, there's other kinks out there. Some, what some people call more extreme than others, but I don't think that they're more extreme. They're just a little different. And have you thought at your certain point of time that it's taking over your life a bit too much? How have you managed it? What keeps you grounded? Find those things that ground you. Do you necessarily need to be cured? I don't think so. Or you could talk to somebody, a kink-aware person, a counsellor, professional, and have a chat with them. To your friends who know you, friends who helped you either get into kink or around kink and all that, do they help you provide feedback and a bit of a balance? If so, that's awesome, because we all need that. There are times when I'm turning in my head, and they're like, no, you're okay, or yeah, I think you are. Those are quite invaluable, not just because they get something out of it, because they're concerned for you as a person. Anyway, chainsaw looks like it's gonna go off. So I'll catch you guys later. And also, there's gonna be some protests in the city from about 7 to 2. So make your plans and have a good day. See yous.